Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Hades, where today we are going big. It's gonna be a great big, numerically very large episode. It feels to me like it's gonna be hard to use this sword in actual combat. You know, I guess the idea is you plant the zone, and then did it say
Stygius
slows foes? If it applies to their attack animation speed as well as their movement speed, then I guess that'll let you get your big ridiculously heavy attacks off. Yeah, okay. I mean, that's something. So I think before we go, I'm actually going to go and trade keys for a nectar again. It doesn't leave us with a huge number of keys, but if we end up needing a huge number of keys, we have gemstones for that. Whoa. Whoa, dude. He wasn't doing that before, was he?
I'll buy that.
I think he's still singing about Dionysus. That's not great. That's that's a problem for us. You know what? Let's ignore it. Let's just move right on here into the run. So, I think we're gonna just keep rolling with the same setup that we've been rolling with. Hey SB, if you're winning a bunch of times in a row, doesn't that mean it's too easy? Shouldn't you turn it up? It says 15. All right, back off.
What's the worst that could happen?
Video games are hard, but sometimes I'm okay at them. All right. So.
All right.
That's interesting. If we get offered crit on attack, I think we probably take it. So we are feeding Artemis. Artemis, here, have a thing.
My Lady Artemis, your favor's been invaluable to me. No finer huntress ever walked the surface of the earth or underneath.
You're being very nice to me and that makes me suspicious, understand? So you want more of that, you keep this up.
I'm in this photo and I don't like it.
Not everybody on Olympus is a total disappointment, Zagreus. Why, someday maybe you could meet Callisto. She goes hunting with me all the time. But you don't see many woodland nymphs down there.
Actually, you might be surprised. So I think they're both compelling. I think our attack hits so hard that I wish it was a higher rarity, but I think we gotta take Deadly Strike.
Artemis, guide my hand.
Think about all of the crit chance. Yeah, that seems okay. So hold on a second. Yeah, our dash strike is still quite slow. Well, there's no way on earth that we're taking darkness over a chaos gate here. Here of all places.
The fates have much in store for you, O son of Hades. Perhaps, however, we can tamper with their weavings here to some extent.
I do love to tamper with their weavings. So, massive damage to foes from behind is probably the thing we ought to take. We could spend a reroll here fishing for just like an attack damage bonus, but let's take excruciating ambush. That's a lot of bonus damage. So 30% extra damage for 3 encounters I don't really think is that big of a deal. I am into getting a nectar and a level up to our only boon at this point. I think that's totally fine. What we would really like is to pull a rarity increase, right? Later on. If we could make that happen, I think it would be really great. Ow, well that was stupid. What a dumb way to get hit. Okay, sometimes it seems like I am getting to yeah, if I dash during the combo, it remembers which strike I'm at, it looks like, and it performs the one that should be next to the line instead of always dashing into the thrust, which is nice. Alright, Deadly Strike got 8% more attack damage. I mean, hey, that's cool. That's not nothing. Alright, Athena should be fun. Athena's good in general.
Look who.
I'm trying to remember, what is the Athena-Artemis duo? Oh, is it the, wow, the wind-up on that attack is so long, holy crap. This, all of my enemies. Alright, well it definitely doesn't slow the skulls while they're executing their attack. Gosh, look at the chopping. Look at the degree of chopping. Okay, you we were not feeding yet. I think we'll just hold on to our nectar for a moment here.
I'll tell you something, cousin. If even Artemis is aiding you, it's proof your cause is just. She doesn't often take an interest in family affairs.
Alright, let me... hold on, what was your duo? Is it a thing that's worth even trying to get toward? It's Deadly Reversal. So, I guess a question. Would it be worth taking... Oh, we're not even being offered. Never mind. We could take Divine Strike and just replace Artemis, but I don't really want to do that. Divine Dash is fine. We might take a reroll here. Let's see if we can't get in the direction of Deadly Reversal, because I think I would actually really like to. If we get Deflect on Special, which is what Divine Flourish is, I think that would actually be pretty good for us. I'm gonna spend a reroll.
What about
I know Divine Dash is good and everything. Yeah, I like it.
Athena's power?
I think it's real good for us to have a Deflect, and I would normally have been, you know, more than happy to take the dash. But why not put ourselves in a position where we could pull the duo, right? Yeah, I really like that the dash strike respects your combo with this weapon. I missed. So we have some kind of significant damage reduction. We have enemy slowing. We just have a huge amount of health. Now, it's not a health multiplier, right? I think it was just... it was just a flat 50-point bonus.
I got from Chaos as a new effect.
I believe. So we're not going to see like we're not going to end up scaling up to like 700 health. But overall, I think we're still going to be pretty strong. And honestly, with a big damage reduction effect, we may well end up with effectively 700 health. Man, yeah, the size of the swing here is bananas. It's definitely a risky weapon, but it feels really cool and powerful. So far, I've been very impressed with all of the
Get out.
all of the fourth aspects, the hidden aspects, if you will.
For the mirror.
Do we want Demeter? Chill might not be a bad idea. If we can maybe get like Chill on Dash, or of course the Call. The Call would be good as well. I'm just thinking that, you know, with us wanting to stand still so much, stacking on more more cold effects might be wise. That said, we could also go this way and just try to start rolling for that duo boon as early as possible, but I actually think I really like this. Provided we can get that Call. We do have another point of rerolling already.
Let's go, lads.
Criminy, look at the damage. We do so much damage when hitting people from behind.
Forgot a Demeter.
You already won't take Nectar.
My sisters Hestia and Hera surely would assist as well, young sprout. Except they and our foster brothers haven't been getting along of late. Though as for me, I'll never leave this mountaintop of mine.
Okay, Mistral Dash, I mean... Nourished Soul for only 35% is probably not that amazing. Obviously, there's value to Ravenous Will, but I kind of think applying a lot of Chill via just dashing around, plus slowing enemies as we dash such that it's easier to get behind them, seems like a pretty good idea. I would have liked the Call, but I don't think I'm gonna reroll for that. The dash is good enough. Plus, it's really nice to have a dash, a little bit of dash damage, just for clearing the blue health off of enemies, which is more critical with the sword, with this particular aspect of the sword, than it has been with many of our other weapons. due to the amount of time that it takes to execute each attack. We don't really want to have to spend a whole sword swing doing that if we don't have to. Ow. Wow, this, the whole floor, huh? Just every bit of the floor is just covered in explosions. Alright, well, we're certainly going shopping.
What do we have?
Oh, absolutely.
I'll take that.
Also one of these. And still, we're going shopping. Yeah, if we manage to keep up our damage reduction aura and then just, like, do all the other things that we normally do, I think we're going to end up in a very powerful position here. Well, I'm certainly not going to skip out on the hammer.
I'll pay for that.
Attack deals bonus damage based on your current money. So... here's a question. Is this base damage? This is like flat damage that will then be multiplied by our multipliers? I think that's the case. Because it doesn't tell us that it's going to apply as a percentage or anything. It does seem pretty okay, even if you don't have a huge amount of money. Yeah, okay. I'll take it. It's, you know, a huge portion of that is just me getting it off the list.
I'll take it.
And obviously, it's not going to be worth much to us right now. We're definitely going to take Deadly Reversal, though. 2 seconds of 20% chance to crit after deflecting. So, that is a little awkward. Maybe we should just take Blinding Flash instead. I'm just thinking 2 seconds isn't enough time for us to get our good attacks off in the first place. But still might be worth taking. Blinding Flash will mean our special opens up enemies to huge backstab damage, and we already have incentive to backstab. Yeah, my biggest concern with Deadly Reversal is that it's not going to allow us to get the big attack, the critical on the big attack. I think we're actually going to take Blinding Flash over it.
The Shield of Light.
So we will run into enemies, special them, and then try to stab them in the back for just really huge amounts of damage. Although, if they want to just turn toward us and prevent me from hitting the back, that's, you know, it's not the end of the world. We still hit pretty hard. It's hard to be too upset about the numbers that we are seeing here. Did I knock him out of the special by doing it? Oh, interesting. Okay, it does not create a new zone if you special with the old zone still up. Yeah, unfortunately, we keep hitting enemies for 860 damage while they still have blue health.
What do we have here?
Alright, what manner of trove are you? Gemstones? Yeah, we should probably do that, right? In this place, it shouldn't be too hard to get it. To get a reasonable value out of it.
That is private property.
You laugh, huh?
Wow, yeah, if we can get like a single blast of cold off of the Mistral Dash, it really does allow us to dispose of most enemies very quickly. See this last... there he is.
Who is going to clean all this up?
Alright, 43 gemstones is pretty damn good. I really do wish that the resources that came out of troves gave you the secondary effects, though. Don't really know why they don't, honestly. Alright, a life-saving special, to be sure. Yeah, the slowness of this weapon in concert with the types of enemies we have thus faced is definitely making me a little nervous about our long-term prospects. We're getting hit by a lot of stuff. Whew, okay. So it's in our best interest to have a lot of cash on hand. trying to get a sense here. Obviously, if we charge directly at somebody, we damage them. Okay, if we dash through them, they still take it, even if they are not really in position to get hit by the projectile that clearly shoots off of us when we fire it. Trying to make sure that we have optimal use of our dash here. The humming noise is sort of the quiet choral noise that the zone makes when it's out is honestly a little distracting. I keep thinking, I keep being nervous that I've got some other audio source playing, and it's going to screw up the recording.
Good enough to eat.
Alright, more damage, more chill, more backstab bonus. I think I'm actually going to take more backstab bonus. I know that we're not always going to be able to apply this, but it is pretty significant. I probably would have taken the palm on the attack boon if it, increased the critical chance at all.
Hello, Fury Sisters.
Know something, Red Blood? Try as I might, I still have not forgiven you for beating me last time. Call it a crippling character flaw, I don't know.
Forgiveness can take time, though self-reflection is a healthy step. We're making progress.
You think we're making progress? Here? Why, you piece of trash. I'll show you progress.
That doesn't even make sense, Electo. What are you talking about?
Kill!
Damn it.
She's getting angry.
Oh, she turned around right before the big attack went off. Yeah, I guess that's a downside to the backstab strategy. Our attacks are so slow, it's actually going to be really hard to get backstabs with the big attack.
She's powering up.
Okay, well, she should fucking cut it out. Alright, let's try to get her with the... There we go.
She's powering up.
Catch her doing her powering up thing with our special. Right. Unfortunately, Meg is also just shooting projectiles at me nonstop in a way that, unfortunately, we really can't interact with very much. Right, and remember to keep the boiling blood up. Wow, that hit us like 4 or 5 times before I was allowed to move out of it. Okay, there's not usually this many of these, right?
Damn.
But we are just getting hit by absolutely everything. There's definitely more projectile nonsense going on than usual. Like I don't have a moment to get a strike in edgewise here. I mean, it's definitely a big problem that our weapon is so slow. And also, every time I think about going in for an attack, either she spawns a Blade Rift, despite already having 6 Blade Rifts out, or Meg appears the instant we move toward her. There was a period there, it was probably a solid 45 seconds, where there was just no way to attack her without getting hit. All of her stuff was perfectly lined up to prevent us from ever having an opening.
Which to choose?
So... It's a great question, actually. Which to choose? We'll take this. Hopefully it'll be a money thing. And we will take... How far are we from... Oh, okay. We're 10 million encounters from leveling that up. That's never going to happen. Who do we think would be valuable to the run? So we have a cast slot open and a call. And then, of course, there are many other things. Boy. Demeter's Call is probably still the best one we could pull. You know what? Yeah.
Go with that one.
Give me that. Let's see if we can get that together.
Let's go up.
We are continuing to forge our bond with Demeter in every way that we possibly can. Because I am so worried. I am so worried about what's going to happen when she finds out.
Hot up here.
Alright, looks like no gold pots or anything. Well, let's go make some money. So 5% of our current attack added on to, or 5% of our current gold added on to our attack, and then potentially multiplied by things like, by our chaos boon and, what do you call it? And our crit.
Bring it.
Man, it's tough to want to stand in one place, like to stay inside of our zone.
Right there.
My style is usually very aggressive, right? It's very heavy on movement. Staying inside of the safety zone feels extremely wrong to me. All right, well, it looks like there's nothing else here to do.
You shall pay for that.
I guess let's go ahead and go back to full, shall we? Okay, it looks like projectiles inside the zone are in fact slowed. Yeah, wow, that's considerable. So this aspect dramatically slows enemies. It gives you a ton of extra health to work with. Is this like the safety mode aspect? Also,
waste my time.
Wow, 11 health, really? That's a little bit... I feel like we did that basically as quickly as we could. We're definitely taking this for the increased rarity.
Onward.
We'll get Demeter. It'll happen. I really, really need that rarity.
Oh, you look positively famished, hon. Here, let me help you with that. Here, enjoy.
Ooh,
Dash and
good.
flourish. Bummer, man. The odds that we were going to hit the attack were, like, pretty high.
Take care, yeah.
So, that is a real shame. I mean, the flourish boon is going to be just fine.
Who dies first?
Oh yeah, also, I don't actually get to determine where the fight is, so, like, the idea of a small zone that I am safer inside of is a little silly. Okay, yeah, this is going to be a nightmare.
Gods grant me strength.
Another 14% on exposed, or like, you know, we're going to be hitting, there's still a lot of small enemies in the game who you're not going to have time to do blinding flash on, and so just like flat damage can also be valuable, but I don't think the attack is where we want to take it. I'm going to go ahead and buy this. We're not going to buy the lure, though, because we're trying to be a little bit more careful with our money this time. Let's take the Demeter. I mean, listen, not that I wouldn't take Dionysus sometime afterward, you know, but I really do want to get this.
Oh, good. I
Oh,
love
right.
snakes.
My backstab damage. She teleported out before the good hit of the combo. She usually fires one fewer projectile than that, doesn't she? I thought I must have counted it wrong. Wow, we killed the stone guy first. I don't think that's ever happened before.
In the name of Hades.
He's a lot easier to hit. Don't necessarily think Arctic Blast is great for us right now. We don't have enough sources of chill. I think we're actually going to reroll. I really would love the call. Okay. Epic version of the call, that sounds great. Big fan of this call.
Come, fishies.
And now there's a lot of different things that we could go for in our cast slot.
Bite this.
A lot of different duos we could still be hunting for. I mean, if Dionysus wants to show up again, I would certainly not be opposed to Trippy Shot. Give us a little bit more safety. In fact, we might even force him.
You called? Looks like we've got an urgent work-related matter to attend to.
Yep, it's definitely work that calls us here.
Yeah.
Did that hit him? I do think it's a little bit dumb that mini-boss? Like, what? Why is that a thing that I have to compete with Thanatos for?
You're next.
There we go. Okay.
Nearly made it.
It's over.
Apparently we're nearly done. Oh god, it's the blue skeletons. You know what, that's a good point. This would be a good time for a call.
There he is.
Ow, my face.
Well, look at you, cuz, rushing to victory after successive victory. Caught wind of your accomplishments down there. Well then, let's keep the streak alive.
I could definitely use some help keeping the streak alive. You know what? I'll take greater evasion.
And here we go.
Fine by me. Oh, hey, we actually get to talk.
Outdid me once again there, huh? I have to admit, you're not as bad at all of this as I expected. First I found you, I was certain that you had no chance at all.
I seem to have this whole easy to underestimate thing about me based on a decent sum of my relationships. In any case, I always welcome your appearances out here. I know it's not been easy for you, Than.
That's fair as an assessment, I would say. But then again, it's never been an easy time for me. I know I have to do my job, but I don't have to keep on helping you like this.
What, you're telling me this is it? You're just going to leave me to my own devices then? I've proved myself to you, something like that?
No, you deadbeat, I'm telling you the opposite. Why do you think I keep on showing up? You may not really need me, Zagreus, but I will take these opportunities to help. I take it that's all right.
It is all right. Thanks, Than.
Oh, hey. Okay, well, now we need to have Ambrosia on hand in case we run into Than. So... Money versus Demeter versus Heart versus Double Palm. I think Double Palm is probably not really on the table. I do think even as a doubled resource, that one's probably just worse. I mean, Demeter's good. It's like Demeter versus Heart, I'm pretty sure. As much fun as 5 more damage on my attack would be. I will say that we maybe have the worst weapon for this bonus damage on your attacks thing, because small flat damage bonuses are way more effective when you have, like, flurry strikes or something, because we're attacking so slowly. It's kind of irrelevant. I mostly took it because the prophecy, you know. Working on that prophecy. So, I'm pretty sure that we do not have... That's not the button. Pretty sure we are not even on the prereqs for any boons or any duos, right? Well, we could end up with stubborn... We could end up with stubborn roots, that's true. I'm not wild about it, but maybe it's the right move. I think I'm gonna take the boon. I don't really want her cast. We do want health, but we already have lots of health. We'll get more. I'm gonna take the boon. I don't know exactly what we're gonna do with it, but I think our health is, like, kind of okay, actually. You know what, it doesn't make any sense to worry too much about the, There we go. To worry too much about the boiling blood effect, I don't think. Chop, 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 chop. It is a shame that, an attack that breaks armor can't do any damage to the red health, because boy, we sure would cut these enemies in half with a single hit if it could. Man, the amount of time it takes for some of this stuff to wind up, it's absolutely terrifying. I was a little worried about actually being able to use this to deflect stuff, but it seems not to be a big deal. It actually comes out relatively quickly, and if we're inside the zone, projectiles move at us so slowly.
In the name of Hades.
So Frozen Touch, Ravenous Will, I think these are both interesting. Let's take Epic Ravenous Will. We'll just try not to have Bloodstones very much. You know what we could do? We could try to get Lightning Rod. If we take Zeus on our dash, or Zeus on our cast, and then get Lightning Rod, we have a good excuse to throw our lightning bolts out there, or throw our Bloodstones out there and just leave them out there, and then we would have this huge Ravenous Winter bonus all of the time. I think that actually sounds pretty okay. So we'll try to force Zeus in the next biome. And then the question is, do you actually want to shop? Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna get too cute trying to keep the bonus damage from this hammer upgrade up. It's not going to be consequential enough to matter all that much. We mostly took it for the thing. Okay, interesting. Let me grab this first.
That boon got better, huh? Much better. Should help keep me going.
The boatman Charon ought to invest into a boat of more substantial size if he's to keep up with my work, my kin.
Yes, you cause many people to die all the time. I get it. Seems fine, I guess. We just know we don't want to take Slicing Shot because we want to make sure we have room for Zeus on our cast.
How was the magma temperature lately, Lerny?
Okay. Which one is the white one? Ow. Oh, the white one is the dropping rocks when it slams. Right, I remember. Pretty good. The damage output from this sword is pretty good. Alright, well, I definitely would like to clean up these little dudes now, while it's going to be relatively easy to do so. We just took damage there from a guy who was dead already. It is so hard to see the little things on the ground indicating where the projectiles are going to come down most of the time. We just have so much, there's so much garbage, so many ground effects. Oop, that's too many dashes. Look at this big old snake. We're all just gonna pretend not to have heard it. That's my opinion. I do wish that this enemy was not completely invulnerable to backstabs. It clearly has a back, you know? There's no reason. Okay, maybe that's enough stomping. Is it allowed to just stomp 10 times in a row? It feels a little unfair to people who are using a melee weapon.
Bye for now, Lenny.
So yeah, this is going terribly. Holy crap. It's really hard to use weapons that require you to just stand still. Everything in the game is built to punish you for ever being stationary. Alright, we're gonna max out Demeter's Keepsake next time we take it, and Zeus's Keepsake maybe right now. Yeah, we have enough for both of these. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have bothered with the Trove Tracker. Troves in Elysium are sometimes so... They sometimes put out so much health worth of enemies that you can't possibly get a good result from them.
Elysium.
I mean, it's possible that we'll be able to just face tank through Hades if we continue gaining health. We got our Death Defiances back. There's some version of this, right, where I just stand still and mash attack, and he does so little damage to us that that totally works. We out-trade him. Doing my best to try to kill them with the thing, because, like, if they die to the special, they don't deal damage to us, because we're in deflect mode when it goes off. And I would really love to not have to wait for them to arbitrarily decide to die. Alright, this is just a tiny bit frustrating. Chariots are going to be a huge nightmare for us. Because so many of our attacks are slow enough that the chariot can decide to start charging. But, yep, great example. The chariot can decide to start charging after we have started the attack, and it will still hit us before the attack goes off. Alright.
Weapon's hidden talents.
Attack fires a wave that pierces foes, dealing 30 damage. I don't really know, like, is that even good? It does this in addition to its normal effect, right? But, like, this is really not that compelling. I think we're going to take Double Edge instead.
A blade fit for a god.
I wonder how that's going to interact. Ugh, of course we pulled the type of trove I am least excited about. Darkness would not have been great, but I think at this point I'd be more into... we're not going to take it. I don't care enough about that thing to even do it. I was really hoping for money or health, obviously. There's no reason for us to do much other than, like, stand in place, right? Because if we try to do any other strategy here, we're just going to take damage for nothing when these enemies die for free if we just avoid them. Again, just kind of the least compelling enemy design in the game. Also, I don't know why they need to have just enough health to not die to a single cast, but that definitely increases the annoyance factor. Okay, I think the dash strike... God damn it. Yeah, if you do anything other than play in the absolute safest and most boring way, you are going to get punished, so I guess that's what we're gonna do. Until such time as the game decides we are ready to play again. But it looks like, from what we saw on those Exalted, that we are in fact getting the double dash attack, even when the dash attack is doing one of the later hits of the combo. Which is very good news. It's hard to verify because there's so many little bits of damage going on, all one after the other. Also, where the hell is my boon? Yeah, I'm trying to test this, and so of course they're gonna... Of course I'm going to suffer badly for my art here.
Come try me.
It's a shame that you can't... These enemies are also, like, profoundly bad for testing it because they can just decide that any attack you hit them with instead did not hit them. I mean, we're going to take huge chunks out of Hades, provided we actually make it to him. Where is the... There he is.
can't do that.
Come on. Ah, damn it. Of course he rolled too fast. Would love it if we could just trap these guys a little bit more effectively. Also, how is there still a, how is there still one of those alive? Yeah, I don't know, it's hard to tell. Sometimes it seems like we're getting the second strike, and sometimes we're not. I mean, it must work, right? It must give you the second strike, because if it didn't, why would they even let you take that with this weapon? It is definitely the case that there are some hammer boons that are not available with certain aspects. I don't think we're going to take a Chaos Gate. So I would imagine if it was the case that you could not benefit from this hammer thing with this aspect, it would just be out of the pool, right?
Fun has arrived.
I do so love the additional fun.
Ah yes, my favorite pastime. Getting butchered by a giant double-bladed axe, and sometimes trampled.
Then good. You have much to enjoy in store.
Do we know the duration of the... Okay. Do we know the duration of the blinding flash damage? Or the blinding flash effect? It looks like he's not even taking the status effect, is he? It's hard to tell. I don't have a lot of time to sit there and look at it. No, he doesn't have it over his head, so it just doesn't work on him. Oh, you know what? Boss status effects probably appear over their bar, not over their heads. No, but he's definitely not taking it. Okay, well, good to know, I guess. Also, not the way it should be working, but good to know. Do we have to successfully deflect? Maybe it's not your attacks that deflect. Maybe it has to be an actual deflection. If that's the case, we're not going to get it against him, because I am not giving him the opportunity to hit me in order to hunt for a thing. Oh, time to run away. Must you turn around immediately? Wow. Well, the slowdown from the zone really worked against us there by holding the projectile in place until our dashes were finished. See, I guess the idea here is we're going to hope for stubborn roots. Because it's clear that I'm not going to be maintaining much of a stock of death defiances.
Enough, you win.
Cheers for the fight.
Yeah, I suppose with this weapon, you can get high enough on health that you can just choose not to play the game, let everything hit you, and just tank through it on a low enough difficulty. I think that on Heat 15, we're taking it, like, the hits we're taking are big enough that that's not really a viable option for us, as, you know, as shown by the fact that we are missing 2 Death Defiances. And so this sword is way more liability than value, with the slowness. I don't think I'm wild about it.
My good sister Demeter already tried to poison you against me, as I understand, young man. Oh, foster sister, she prefers, I say, loath as she is to accept her role as part of our great family.
Alright, I do think that we are in this place. Alright, so now we have a couple of cool duos that can show up. Also, we just have a bunch of good skills. A bunch of good, useful boons. This cast will make it considerably easier to deal with lots of chariot nonsense, but also it'll still keep the ability for us to benefit from boiling blood.
is regenerating.
I'm not even sure what I took damage from there. Yeah, I like the chop. It feels powerful, but this is definitely a definitely not one of the better. Okay, come on now. Definitely not one of the better aspects. It's definitely one where, like, if you get ahead enough numerically, you can just not have to be good at the game, which, you know, in a sense is good. But okay, Jesus Christ. It is definitely going to cause some problems. By the way, I was holding left for both of those dashes. I'm not sure why we dashed, like, up and to the right. I'm assuming what happened is it tried to carry us, like, along the edge of the terrain there.
Good for the health.
Well, we do have lots of life, I suppose. I don't know that there's a ton. I guess faster attack. Yeah, okay, there's some stuff Hermes can do for us. Man, we got hit by a projectile there in the middle of our big deflecting attack. Does it honestly not even deflect for the entirety of the animation? Yeah, it doesn't. It looks like the dash attack is not getting doubled. I was trying to get us into the combo there so I could test it. Get to Zagreus. Come on, man. Try a little bit. He is definitely just, like, getting hung up on all kinds of garbage while we're trying to dash around here. It's just not going that well. It does feel a little bit like he's missing with the casts on purpose, though, right? That one felt malicious. The enemy was right there. It would have been so easy to just shoot at them, especially since my cursor was pretty much pointed at them. He was like, nah, that's not how we do things around here.
In the name of Hades.
Okay, Flurry Cast is not good. 30% dodge chance after calling. So we could do a lot of minor calls. And I think our current call is pretty good for that strategy, honestly. Yeah, let's do that. Go for more of a fast call thing. That will kill us for sure. I mean, it's cool that we'd be able to pick Demeter first, and then the Athena Wrath thing is pretty minor, and obviously Athena boons are potentially very important, but I still think, given the density of enemies in Trials and the difficulty of the enemy packs, I think it's probably a bad idea. It's a shame you can't get numerical damage reports in just like random rooms off of pots or traps or anything. So we have no way of testing to see whether we're actually getting the benefit of double attacks on our dash strike, except actual combat, where conditions are such that we often can't get that information anyway. But it sure looks like it's not actually doubling. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Well, disappointing. Do like getting to cut a butterfly ball to pieces so quickly. Okay, come on, dude. Yeah, that's a really great example of that thing I was talking about a moment ago, where, or not a moment ago, several rooms ago at this point, where the chariots attack quickly enough that they can start their attack after we start ours, and they will hit before we do. Okay, first of all, I don't know why I wasn't allowed to dash up there, because there was definitely room for us to walk. But also, it's weird that the middle strike of the combo hit one of those butterfly balls, but then the third strike didn't. Is there like a dead zone in the big attack, maybe? Jesus Christ, that was very harrowing. Also, new spawns. That doesn't need to be a thing. Alright, so we're at 3 HP. We're just gonna die to randos in Elysium because this weapon is so slow. There's very little that is worse for your survival than a requirement that you stand still. Okay, we did max out our Thunder Signet. We must buy this or we will die.
What do I get?
Okay, Ignited Ichor is movement speed. That's no good. You know what I need is to see Patroclus. Or just, like, Athena. Athena would be really good. I don't know why we're not allowed to see Athena. Alright, that's my bad. I assumed that the...
that one's regenerating.
I assumed that the reticle we were seeing was from the enemies who were up here instead of from an enemy that we had no way of knowing existed over there. This does feel like a little crummy, right? This number of archers at the same time. This is very harsh. Okay, it's tough to keep track of how long is left on our zone. It might be the case that I'm just not seeing it. I think there's a visual indicator on the zone itself when it's coming to an end, but there's no indicator on me. So it's hard to know if I'm going to be able to lay one down unless we're actually standing inside of the other one. Just a little bit less than ideal. Okay, there we go.
He's fully recovered.
Yeah, but unfortunately, as with any other animation, if we take damage, we are knocked out of all of our attack animations, so it's very difficult to deal with a group of enemies who shoot at you the number of projectiles these guys do with the frequency that these guys do.
Phew.
Alright, this would be a really good time to see Patroclus.
Lord Ares, it is my privilege to have met you and have learned your death-inflicting way.
I do appreciate this gift to me, although you really shouldn't have. The suffering which you inflict is ample compensation in itself.
Well, aren't you a sweetheart?
Surely you've heard the rumblings about a war which has erupted on the surface here. Doubtless you've seen an influx of fallen mortals. It's quite a decent one, I have to say. Though unlikely to rise to the ranks of the greats. Too few armies involved in it, I fear.
It's kind of weird that he doesn't strike me as, like, being as scary as Demeter is, given that he is constantly talking about how much he loves it when everyone dies. Curse of Vengeance seems okay for us. We are definitely going to hold on to a reroll. Okay, definitely not doing that. Can't do this. They're just never going to show us Athena again, huh? Nor Patroclus, it would seem.
That's life.
So, this is bad. I have 175 HP to get through this fight with. I mean, that's not undoable. But the fact that we are seeing the boss means that we are definitely not getting Patroclus.
Gentlemen.
Tell me something, monster. Whence did you steal that kingly blade you're brandishing about? It seems ill-fitting for one such as you.
Oh, this? I wouldn't say I stole it so much as naturally wooed the fates into bestowing it upon me. You could say I'm kind of testing it out.
Ah, well then. I pity whosoever shall lay hands upon that cursed thing once you are finished with this testing of yours. I think that we can make it rather quick.
Unfortunately, I suspect you are correct. Oh yeah, this is a fair point. I should call Dusa. Oh, I don't like that the Bloodstone just went careening off into the middle of nowhere for it to hit nothing. I really want it stuck in him. It didn't even bounce toward Theseus, because we could see where Theseus was when it did that. I would love to... Yep. Love to have a moment of safety here.
I do not fear you, fiend. Your presence is a stain upon Elysium.
I will say, the zone does make it a lot easier to deal with... Oh, that's bad. Does make it a lot easier to deal with his charge. You know what? Yeah, small calls, right? Nope, of course. It's never just one. Yeah, basically, every time I tried to attack, I got punished, which is, I guess, just how things are going to go if you're using this sword. Okay, that was a good deflect. Wow, it stops the projectiles from the gun dead in a really weird-looking way.
Undeserving fiend, all which you think you have achieved was merely handed you.
They're big chops. And we're gonna save the calls, obviously, until the next phase. But also, we're definitely just going to die.
You dare?
Ah, stop being so hard to hit, you asshole. I do think that the way the hitbox of the chariot works is rather frustrating, because, like, we took a hit a moment ago because we were kind of nearby, despite the fact that we were not in front of him and we weren't in the direction from him that he traveled in.
Why, you? Lord Dionysus, lend me your power.
Come on, come on. Just a little bit more. Nope, okay, that's bad.
Oh, no.
Oh, come on.
Back to the hell that spawned you.
My dash stopped because we hit the pillar. Yeah, that weapon is
how come he gets
way too slow. Like, way too slow. And it did seem like we were just getting no benefit out of our second hammer choice. And we kind of weren't getting any benefit out of our first hammer choice, too. Even if we had saved up money obsessively from the beginning of the run, which is a bad thing to do because it makes you weaker and probably would have resulted in us being weaker than just buying things with our money. it still would have been a pretty minor benefit because of the infrequency with which we strike. But that's definitely a weapon with which you want percentage bonuses more than flat bonuses.
Meant to tell you, recently I noticed Megara, and I believe I saw the faintest smile play across her lips. That anything to do with you, perhaps? Not asking for specifics, mind.
You really think that has to do with me? I mean, I hope you're right, and I suppose it's possible. It's just, how can you tell?
Perhaps with time I've grown keen to more than just the weaknesses of my enemies on the battlefield. Especially since I don't have those anymore. I'm happy for you, lad. The two of you.
Thanks, Achilles. That means a lot.
I do suppose it's kind of fitting that the weapon that is worse than the others by a large margin has a final aspect that also is worse than the others by a large margin.
Tell me something, Zagreus. Sometimes I fear... Do you hate him? I mean your father. Regardless of his intentions. It sounds as though he made your life extraordinarily difficult. All his pent-up fear and anger. You bore the brunt of it.
Do I hate him? Mother, I don't know that I hate anybody, really. The tales of him and the Olympians rending their immortal Titan parents to bits. I can't relate to how they must have felt. But I resented him for sure. And I don't know if I'll ever get over that entirely.
I understand. I think that when Hades told you he asked no forgiveness, he understood as well and meant it. Well, for all his failings, I'm thankful that he did not teach you how to hate. For your own sake, if not for his.
Sometimes I think he tried.
I mean, there's no sometimes about it. It's like, yes, he very obviously tried. He even said as much. I'm pretty sure.
Guess what, Father? The lounge is all tidied up. Your house contractor there is quite efficient once you muster up the necessary funds. You should try it sometime.
Are you expecting words of thanks because you paid the contractor to fix a bit of devastation that you caused? I fear it shall take rather more than that.
What if I replaced every furnishing in this blasted place? Would you treat me any better then?
I suppose, boy, that there's only one way to find out. Though I suggest you save yourself the trouble.
Oh, it's no trouble at all.
Oh, we should go check for Thanatos. Aha. I'll nudge things later.
Hey, Than. For all the times you've bailed me out and just all the times you've been around for me, I thought I'd get you this. The real thing.
Ambrosia. Zagreus, where did you even... Don't you think this is a bit excessive?
You say that like it's a bad thing. A little bit of excess from time to time never hurt anyone, I'm sure.
Oh, you would be surprised. Though if you're going to embarrass me, you know what? I am going to reciprocate. Behold.
What? Thanatos?
Oh!
You're really giving more to me? I'm deeply honored. Thanatos, I ought to have asked by now, but what's it like? Up there, I mean, outside? You never talk about it. I almost forget that's where you go for work.
What can I say? It's different. I never stay up there for very long. Don't think I could. It starts making me feel ill. Too many sensations all at once. And when the chariot of Helios is in the sky, it gets so bright that I can barely see.
That sounds awful. If it's that bad, why would all the Olympians chat it up so much?
There's no accounting for their taste, I guess.
So, I'm thinking about, like, how you would apply this weapon better. Because, like, the sword in general has a little bit of a pins you in place problem. I was thinking, like, with the Beowulf shield, we very much want to, like, do a lot of running away, only come in for strikes when it's safe to do so, hit really hard, and then disappear. But you can't really do that with this sword the same way you can with the shield, because first of all, with the shield, while you're doing the basic strikes, you are invincible, or while you're setting up, you're invincible because of the block mechanic. And secondly, this sword actually takes longer to get to its attack. You know, if you're trying to land that third strike, it actually takes quite a bit longer to get to it, I think, than it does to just charge up a bull rush. So it's less functional at a greater risk with the trade-off that you have the zone, right? If you were to... oh, we'll be back, you two. If you were to pour a bunch of blood into this thing, how good would the damage reduction on that zone get?
Any luck last time?
I've returned.
Okay, so it probably gets to 45%, right? Boy, that doesn't... So I guess the idea of the thing, with it giving you a damage reduction aura and everything, the idea of the thing is that you just take hits on purpose with the sword. You find a place where the trade is beneficial enough, and you just take hits on purpose. That is definitely not intuitive to me. You know, I want to try to find an opening. There is no opening that is great enough for the aspect of Arthur. Yeah, it's an interesting idea, I suppose. You just get numerically ahead enough. You get enough damage reduction and enough max HP that you can face tank your enemies to death. Not just stand there and mash the button, but like find the points where they will hit you the least. I bet this thing is a nightmare to use in sticks. Yeah, I do think, thus far, of the hidden aspects that we've seen, this one is clearly the worst, and by a pretty large margin. But I still don't think it's, like, horrible. It's definitely better than... it's probably better than just using the sword normally. There are trade-offs, for sure. But the baseline of the sword is so much lower than all the other weapons that it does kind of suck that it's a weapon with trade-offs from the baseline of the sword. It's still definitely less effective than most of the non-sword aspects. Alright, well, we are definitely going to be doing this thing. I would... Zagreus, don't let Thanatos overhear you say that. We have 6 ambrosia. We can afford to put a little bit more juice into one of these. And we do want to reset... We're 3 boss rewards, 3 bounties into our current difficulty with the gun, right? So we do really want to win so that we can reset and get some more stuff. So I might just go for the aspect of Eris. It's a little boring, but it's super powerful. It's just kind of a flat powerful. And that may be good enough. That may be what we really need. Yeah, okay. Let's go talk to people. Let's finish talking to people. Let's go trade some resources and stuff. We'll play our lute a little bit. Our lyre? Whatever. We'll play whatever the hell that instrument over there is.
They can't be reasoned with, Nyx. You know that. What use are they to us trying to manage this? They'll make things worse.
They are your sisters. They are part of your life, whether you like it or not. Your relationship with them is yours to mold.
I'm afraid there isn't much for me to work with. You have a lot more faith in them than I do.
I have a lot more faith in you, Megara. There are many obstinate personalities with whom we regularly interact. Thus, we do what is possible.
I understand.
Plus, I think Tisiphone's really coming around. Okay, so we're gonna... Well, hold on. Before we do anything else, as always, before we do any resource trading, let's go make sure we actually know what our counts are.
Here's all I caught.
I caught a Slavok. Okay. Not great. Yeah. 2 Titan Blood.
I'll take that deal.
Still got plenty of ambrosia. We went through a bunch of it relatively quickly, but in general, I don't think it's a thing we need to have a ton of on hand.
Just need to keep at it.
See, he's starting to get some confidence about it. It is coming along. We are getting there. I hope. Fingers crossed.
Trying to bore me to death with all this chit-chat, pal?
Okay, so let's go ahead and throw this into the aspect of Eris. And then I think in general this weapon is just good, right? Like I don't know that we need to pursue anything in particular with it. We want to bombard ourselves, and then it's the bonus damage is just everything, right? Yeah, it's not specifically your attack or anything. So yeah, I don't know exactly what we'll go after, but we have a broad foundation to start from here, which I think we need after a loss that's that embarrassing. So that is going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. We're already almost back up to 500 darkness. At this rate, maybe it won't be that long before we actually do max out the mirror, assuming that this bottom mirror thing can in fact be maxed out. I guess I don't actually have hard evidence that that's the case. When you come back next time, we're going to just try standing a little bit further away from the things that want to kill us. And we'll see you then.